So, you just mentioned how flipping envy to admiration is a good way to maybe, is a good skill to be able to develop for somebody who compares themselves a lot to other people. Is there any other recommendation or advice that you would give to somebody who finds themselves in that cycle of looking at other people on social media or looking at other people in their houses and their cars and whatever it is to, either, minimize the comparison that they're doing or flip the comparison that they're doing in a positive way?
Well, there's two things. Number one, it's realizing that we are all unique. There is nobody like you or me here on this earth, and we all have these unique talents. And that's the really to come back and realize that you can never be that other person. You're not that other person. And the second thing is we have to be really careful with wealth and material things because we measure ourselves by our house and our car and our bank account and where we are, up that socioeconomic level. But the most important thing is your health and your happiness and your joy, body, mind, and soul, because when you lose that, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's gone. And we can use, who I always use, Steve Jobs. He had more money than God, let's say. But when he became ill, what did it matter? It didn't matter. So the real thing is to find joy in your life. If you have joy in your life, you have more than the richest people in the world. If they're, don't have that joy.
Yeah, no, I think that's so good. Realization of uniqueness is key. And then obviously not using material things to define you. Like you are not defined by the material things that you have or anything like that. You're defined by your integrity, your honesty, your humility, your generosity, your kindness, those types of things. So that's great. I want to dive into the third one, I think, a little bit next with resentment. You talked about how resentment can sometimes come from us placing expectations on ourselves or placing expectations on other people. And either we or other people fall short of those expectations. And I'm somebody who's really big on trying not myself to place expectations on other people, because to me, that's almost like an arrogant type thing. It's like, who am I to expect this person to do a certain thing or say a certain thing or be a certain way? Obviously, that's much easier said than done. But I think also expectations on yourself is a tricky thing, because I think we should have high expectations or high standards for ourselves, but at the same time, you don't want to do yourself a disservice by having improper expectations. So I guess kind of riff on that idea of expectations, both with how we should properly use them with other people or maybe not at all, and then properly use them with ourselves or not at all.
Well, karma teaches us that as long as you have expectations, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because what we have to understand is life and energy is continually moving. So if I expect something and it doesn't happen, it may not be a fault of mine or a fault of anyone else's. It's circumstances. Life is constantly changing. And you and I cannot sit here and tell the world what's going to happen 10 minutes from now. We have no idea. Life is continually moving. So it's about having the flexibility and the movement. Now, that doesn't mean don't set goals for yourself. But those goals, I can tell you in my life, I've set goals and I've taken detours and I've gone over them and I've dropped them and I've gone in different directions, And so it's being open to the flow of what's going on around you and not getting yourself stuck in expectations, in little boxes, putting yourself in a box.
No, I love that. And I want to expand kind of deeper on the goals and expectations side of things here momentarily, because I think that's a really important topic to cover.